Good morning, sunshines. Oh my gosh, after the cleanup that I did the other day, I was so satisfied. One thing that I find, as I'm growing flowers and growing food is that it's just like in the spring, I have this expectation and I can't wait for everything to grow. And then, like, when it gets like this time of year in fall, it's like everything grew up like you wanted it to, but it's just like so much now you want to cut it back. So when I do my cleanups, it's so satisfying. So we got the veggie garden cleaned up and I'm so happy. And like I came out today and was like, oh my gosh, like I'm so happy. Even though I left a couple of things in there, I'm still so happy. So I'm over here and this is where we're going to work. We're going to work in the wall garden. I need to cut some things back. I need to stake some things. When I do my staking, sometimes I'll use the, those little green, cute stakes to put in the ground. But sometimes I use sticks that fall from the tree. And because we have some sticks that fell from the tree because of the winds the other day, I just grabbed some sticks. I need to cut some things back, take a look at some things, and we're going to be moving some things today as well. So here we are at this wall garden. And what I'm going to be doing today is I'm going to be going in and just working and cutting some things back. I already cut down on my black-eyed Susans, but there are a lot of babies and I want to dig some out and possibly just put them in pots because I don't want a whole bunch over here. This thing is pretty big. Then we have this right here. This is my daisy. It is the monarch daisy. And this happens every year. And what I forget to do is there's a method you can do is that before it grows up and it grows so tall, like in the spring, you can cut it down like somewhere it starts growing in the spring, of course, with no flowers, but you can cut it down so it doesn't get so tall and big. And I always just forget. I do like the actual plant, but as you can see, because of the rain, it's split in the middle and it's kind of big and tall for this space. So I'm going to let it bloom and then I'm going to be digging it up. I'm going to divide it and I'm going to place it elsewhere. So for now, I might just try to like stake it and kind of like pull it together so it doesn't suffocate the other plants. I have another one of those over here, same thing. And so it's a nice plant and it started like, I swear the baby was so tiny that was given to me. It was so small and look how big it is and it blooms and it is pretty. And so I don't mind it leaning over the front, but behind it there are some other plants and it just looks really messy in here right now. And so I just want to kind of pull that back. Down here we have tons of black-eyed Susie babies and we know that that plant is aggressive. And so I want to cut back the, I think that's phlox back there. Oh, we have a rose bloom. Pretty, pretty. So we also need to give this spirea another haircut. I'm going to debate about that and think about that because I know sometimes cutting things back will promote growth. But it might be okay. What else is in here? I also have this aster. Oh my gosh. They are gorgeous. But once again, instead of cutting them shorter, like cutting them down, look at the bees. I don't even know if I'm going to be able to pull that up. But you see it split. I had already put a stake there and it still didn't hold up. And it's gorgeous, but it does this. And that's another thing I forgot to go ahead and oh my gosh, guys, there are so many bees up here. I don't know if they're gonna let me touch this. I'm looking like, oh my gosh. But I want to pull it back. I mean, I might be able to. Just want to stake it up. I have some cotton, what is that? Cotton candy something that's down there. Then we want to cut back this. I think this is called Leatris. I want to cut this down. we'll cut off the dead. And what else do we gotta do? And I want to move some things. I have this lilac bush here. It just looks like a jungle. It's a jungle. It's a jungle. This is still booming and glooming. That is a mint, a type of mint. The other thing is I have this lilac bush here, and I have another one in the hillside garden. And what I've decided is I want to move those, and so we'll talk about where we're going to move those when we get over there. This right here is an aster as well, and as you can see, it's doing okay, but it's going to need some staking. So hopefully, I don't want to move these out of this spot, so hopefully I will be able to remember next year to cut them so they won't grow so tall. We got some lilies back there that need to be cut down, just a bunch of hacking away. I'm also going to remember, because I was reminded yesterday, that I want to leave some of these things up for pollinators, so I don't want to cut everything back. Also on the wall, we have some hostas. I know some people wait for their hostas to completely die back and turn brown, but because they're on the wall, I come in here and as they die, I cut them. I cut the ugliness away because the wall is, you know, I don't want to say the star of the garden, but it is, you know, it just, I don't like it looking like that. So that's our plans for today. So let's get to work. So guys, as you saw me fumbling with the aster, I was able to tie that back, but this monarch daisy, I think I'm just gonna leave it alone and let it stay like that until I'm ready to dig it up and move it. I do want to see the blooms. The blooms are starting to open up, so I think I'm gonna just leave that alone. I'm gonna tie back this other aster over here and then get back to cutting. Actually, let me go finish this side and cut some things down. Oh my gosh. Garden chores. This is real life. There are so many bees. And I don't want to get stung, of course. Oh. I'm gonna see what I can do, but I definitely don't want to run the risk of getting stung because I got stung by a bee for the first time. I think it was last year, and I realized that, and I had an allergic reaction, which means it was swelling. So I'm really trying to see if they're gonna get mad or if they're gonna just stay on there. Guys, that's gonna have to do it. I'm not gonna risk getting stung. I got it up a little bit. It is what it is. Salvia blooms, old blooms. That's, if you all didn't see me, oh my gosh. I was cutting back that salvia right there. So I'm not gonna let those bees get me. I'm gonna dig up. Right here, we have a black-eyed Susan. I don't want it there. I don't want it to grow there. So I'm gonna move that. There's a plant. I might not be able to collect all the babies today, but this one I definitely have been eyeing, and I've been saying I'm going to get that out of the garden. What I do with this wall is I typically just take the hostas cut-ins and just lay them right in front of the hosta, because the whole hosta will eventually die, and what's going to happen is that when it does grow back, it's going to cover the debris. So that's one way. I'm thankful for the woods, to throw things in the woods, but sometimes I can just cut and drop. Just gonna clean this up a little bit. So I'll go through and do that to even the hostas in the other area over in the shade garden. I'll do that to the hostas over here too. As you can see, it just makes a little difference to me. It makes it look a little neater. And so I know that I said that there was a bunch of stuff that I was gonna do here on the wall. That was my goal, but I feel like the monarch daisy is keeping me from doing that. But what I am going to do, I'm going to pull that shrub out so that I can go ahead and get that planted in the ground along with the other one. The other one I had being held temporarily over here in the hillside garden, and so I want to get them moved. Also, bulbs. I picked these alliums up. I have these alliums in this hillside garden already, but I picked these up from the store. I was just in the store. They were 5 bulbs for $3.24 at Walmart. And so I grabbed these. Are you collecting bulbs? I don't know if I'm going to do more tulips or daffodils, but are you collecting bulbs? It's not time for us to get any bulbs in the ground yet. We won't do that until, I won't be doing that until like the end of November. Putting bulbs in, we'll see what the weather holds. But let me get these shrubs out the ground. So where I decided to put them was right here in front of the chicken run. I think that they would look very nice here. They do need sun in order to bloom, and so this area does get sun. What I'm going to replace it with is I'm going to take out this lady's mantle. Me and lady's mantle this year, I don't know, but this lady's mantle has been in the ground. I think I said last time 3 years, but no, maybe I didn't say that about this, but this definitely has been in here not 3 years. If I said that, I don't even remember what I said, but I think I put this in here last year. And this is how small it is still. It's so super tiny. So I'm gonna put that over there with the other lady's mantle, and I'm gonna give this lilac shrub a try over here. It gets 4 by 6, so it gets 4 feet tall and 4 feet wide. Did I say 4 by 6? I meant to say 4 by 4. And so I'm going to try to center it between that lambian, and right here we have a daylily. And so that lambian loves it here. Do you see how big that one has gotten? And so yeah, that'll be pretty there. That looks good. So I'll put one here, and I'm going to put one on the other side of the chicken run. Grab this lady's mantle. Once again, we have another lady's mantle that's not growing right here. So we'll dig this one out. If she don't go lay that egg. Okay. And that is catnip or catmint, pajama. And then we have a coreopsis here. And then in the back of the coreopsis, we also have some speedwell. And then this right here was a Daisy May. I don't know if it's going to grow, but we'll see. So what I'm going to do is just center this, well, by eyeing it between the coreopsis and the catmint. I like that. I think putting some things over here with height is going to be a good thing because I have so many low growing things. And that's, of course, because I don't want to cover up being able to see the chickens. But, so I think I'm going to also take that monarch daisy when I split it. And I think it's going to come over here too. And fill in some of these spaces where I have so much low growing stuff. We'll figure it out when that time comes. Let me get these ladies' mantles planted somewhere. In hopes they don't die. So right here in this space, I have some ladies' mantle, and it's been doing wonderful. And I have a little spot right here where it's big enough to put both. So I'm going to put both of them here and see what happens. I was tempted to put them over where I was holding the other ones, but since the other ones kind of died, I don't want to put these over there and have that happen. So we'll put one there and then one right here in this spot. So those two will go right there. I was looking at some footage the other day at the lady's mantle in here. I have one there and I have one right below me that you can't see. And how in the spring, how big and lush they were. And they're still a pretty decent size, you know. So I'm hoping that those will like it over here too. I have a spot right here actually for the one that's surviving. Maybe I'll grab that. Let me go see. So here we are at the spot where I've been holding over the ladies' mantles. And as you can see, as I thought, this one I think is dead and that one's dead. This one's holding on. So I'm going to take this one and move it. I'm not going to give it any fertilizer. I'm not going to do any of that. I do see like a new bud there. I'm going to take it. I'm going to put it over there in that area where the other lady's mantle is thriving. It's not rooted in. I'm going to leave those and see what happens. The mums we planted up the other day are looking good and opening up. Ooh, and just a close-up where I planted the other two. See that big one right there, and then those two small ones right there. And so where I'm going to plant this one up, there's a big one right there, and I would tuck it in over there. Well, I still can. I was going to put it here, but I think this what is this, salvia might spread out, and there's nothing right here in this spot. So I'm going to go ahead and put it in this spot, and when I cut this this monarch daisy back, then we'll have two of these ladies man. I think I'm going to cut two of those branches to make sure it at least gets some type of light. It looks like it's getting dappled light, but just to make sure, I'm going to go ahead and cut these. Yeah, it's definitely getting some light now, so makes me want to cut the whole thing away, but I'll hold off. Okay, perfect.